Okay, let's be real. Forget everything you've been told to buy. Seriously. Right now, the biggest thing happening in marketing isn't about what you should get, it's about what you absolutely, definitely don't need. If you've spent any time online lately, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's this feeling of just drowning in hype. Every single product is a holy grail, every ad is screaming, buy this now. Well, we're going to talk about the pushback to all that. It's called de-influencing, and trust me, it's way more than just a trend. It's a full-on market correction.
So that's Kaya, a full-time content creator, and she's talking about the influencer world. And when she says it's a mess, you can feel that, right? It's a feeling that millions of us share. We're just tired of the constant selling. Something just feels off, broken, you know? And that exact feeling is what kicked off this whole movement.
All right, so what is de-influencing, really? Well, think of it as the ultimate anti-ad. It's simple. Instead of telling you what to buy, creators are now telling you what not to buy. They're calling out products that are way too expensive, don't actually work, or just, completely overhyped. It's a pretty radical idea, and it's basically flipping the entire influencer game on its head.
Okay, so how on earth did we get here? I mean, to really get why de-influencing became a thing, we've got to look at the world that made it necessary. Let's call it the peak hype economy, a place that's all about overconsumption and just a nonstop push to sell, sell, sell.
And listen, this isn't some tiny little corner of the internet we're talking about. The influencer industry, it's a massive $16.4 billion machine. That's with a B. And that huge financial engine is exactly what de-influencing is taking on, head on. It's a whole model of marketing that's now under fire.
And this quote right here, it just nails the problem. Like Kaya says, the whole system was basically rewarding over-dramatization. It created this constant pressure to get people to buy, well, everything, without even thinking about it. You know the vibe. Every single product is life-changing, every lipstick is an absolute must-have, and after a while, all that hype just starts to feel, well, pretty fake, doesn't it?
And look, this isn't just a hunch or a feeling. It's a full-blown crisis of faith, and we've got the numbers to prove it. Check this out. The data shows a massive drop. In just 5 years, between 2018 and 2023, trust in influencers just plummeted from 63% all the way down to 38%. People aren't just getting tired of the hype. They're actually not buying it anymore, literally.
So when you have a trust gap that huge, it's like a vacuum, just waiting for something new to rush in and fill it. And that's exactly what happened. So let's dive into the movement that did just that. The anti-hype trend, de-influencing. Yeah, this was not some quiet little protest in a corner. The hashtag de-influencing absolutely exploded. We're talking over 600 million views on TikTok. It shot up 200% in early 2023 alone. This thing went mainstream, fast. It was a massive signal that, you know what, people were desperate for a totally different kind of conversation.
So what does one of these de-influencing videos actually look like? Well, the playbook is super simple, but it's really effective. Step 1, a creator picks a product that everyone is freaking out about. Step 2, they give a brutally honest, unfiltered review about why it just didn't work for them. Step 3, they straight up tell you not to buy it. And then, here's the kicker, step 4, they'll often suggest a better alternative, one that's usually cheaper and actually does the job. But you've got to ask, why now? What was the spark that made this whole thing just blow up? Well, it really wasn't just one thing. It was more like a perfect storm of a few huge factors: serious economic pressure, total digital burnout, and a really big shift in what we as consumers actually value.
And yeah, no big surprise here, money is a huge part of the equation. A recent survey found that a whopping 76% of Gen Z say financial stress is a key reason they're looking for this kind of content. But it goes deeper than that. It's also about values. People are more worried about sustainability, and honestly, we're just exhausted from being sold to 24/7.
And speaking of being exhausted, get a load of this number. It's pretty wild. The average person on an average day is hit with somewhere between 4,000 and 10,000 ads every single day. When you're dealing with that level of noise, of course you're going to crave something, anything that feels real and honest. So all of this, the burnout, the money worries, the search for honesty, it's having a huge real-world impact on businesses' bottom lines. This isn't just some TikTok trend we're talking about. It's a real market correction, and it's creating a whole new rule book for business, with some very clear winners and some very clear losers.
And the financial hit is just, you can't ignore it. When a de-influencer recommends a brand as that better alternative, that brand can see its conversion rates shoot up by 32%. But on the flip side, a product that gets called out can see sales tank by 43%. That's consumers voting with their wallets, and it's happening instantly.
The entire industry is scrambling to adapt. I mean, you've got brands literally changing their product formulas because of the criticism they're getting online. You've got shoppers, 71% of them, now doing their homework on TikTok before they buy anything. And get this, even traditional influencers, almost half of them, are starting to use these more honest, de-influencing tactics just to hang on to their audience's trust.
Okay, but here's where the story gets a little messy. As the trends got bigger and bigger, a whole new wave of criticism started bubbling up. And this time, it was coming from inside the creator community. People started asking, wait a minute, has this whole de-influencing thing kind of lost the plot?
And that skepticism, Kaya nails it right here. What began as this really authentic, genuine pushback against overconsumption, well, for some people, it started to feel a little disingenuous. Like it was just the next hot trend to jump onto, get more views. You know, a bandwagon?
And this quote gets right to the heart of that critique. The movement kind of shifted. It went from, hey, you probably don't need to buy more stuff, to don't buy that expensive thing, buy this thing instead. And suddenly, that original anti-consumerism message just vanished. It was replaced by just another kind of product recommendation. And yeah, like she says, the plot was officially lost.
Which brings us to the million-dollar question, right? If you're telling people not to buy one product, but then immediately telling them to buy a different one, are you really de-influencing at all? Or is it just influencing with a clever new disguise?
So, look, is the trend flawed? Oh, absolutely. But here's the thing. Even with all its issues, the spirit behind de-influencing is still making a huge impact. Maybe think of it like the growing pains of a revolution that we really, really needed. It's forcing everyone to make a hard turn towards a much more authentic future for marketing. And this new playbook, it's all about substance over style. The old rules, hype and secrecy, they're out. The new rules are all about function and utility. Does the product actually work? It's about radical transparency, which, by the way, leads to 56% higher customer retention because people are sick of being tricked. And finally, it's about building a real community, not just manufacturing fake hype. And we're not talking about a small change here. Industry experts are predicting that by 2025, which is right around the corner, a mind-blowing 80% of marketing budgets are going to shift away from that old, hype-based influencer model and move toward these more authentic, community-focused strategies. That is a fundamental change in where the money is going. So, when you boil it all down, what's the takeaway? De-influencing, with all its flaws, is so much more than just another TikTok fad. It's really the first big shakeup of a permanent market correction. It's a new generation of consumers basically forcing businesses, from maybe the first time, to reward what's actually good, not just what looks good.
And that really leaves us with one last thing to think about. A question for you. The next time you're scrolling and you see that viral product that is everywhere, what's the question you're going to ask yourself? Is this thing just hyped up, or is it actually helpful? Because how you answer that question, well, that's what's changing the whole game.